Welcome. You're watching The Moody Lawyer. Justice served with experience and integrity.
Hello and welcome to The Moody Lawyer with attorney Josh Moody. With a rich background in law enforcement and a comprehensive legal career spanning criminal justice, personal injury, and civil matters, Josh offers a unique perspective on navigating the complexities of the legal system. I am your host, Kevin Rosenquist, and today's episode is the digital footprint, the hidden risk in your personal injury case. Josh, welcome back.
Thanks for having me, Kevin.
So when I say digital footprint, obviously we are talking about social media. People love to put their entire lives out for everybody to see, but obviously when a personal injury matter or any sort of matter is in the works, you want to be careful about what you're posting. So can we start by saying, how has the rise of social media changed the way you handle personal injury cases?
I probably would have answered this question a little differently a few years ago, and of course it's evolving. I used to tell people absolutely do not be on social media after a crash or whatever, after some sort of injury, but it's become so ingrained in society now that's almost an impossible ask from a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
give the very basic advice of just, be smart, don't be stupid. Don't post things that are contrary to what you're claiming, things that if you're making allegations under penalty of perjury and you're posting pictures of yourself doing the exact opposite, not a good thing to do. Unfortunately, when people do things like that, it kind of diminishes actual people who are actually hurt,
right,
and really can't and are unable to work or to do the things that they say they can't do.
Can you give us some examples of some situations where social media hurt somebody?
Ooh,
I mean, in the context of personal injury law, not just in the
blanket. I was going to say, even in the context of personal injury, a very common one is, when you make a claim, you file a lawsuit, and a very common deposition question is, give us an example of something you can't do now that you could do before the accident. And I actually had this one lady. She was really she suffered a really severe slip and fall, and she had a history of running marathons, and she couldn't run a marathon after her injury. This has nothing to do with social media. And you see how it affected her, because it affected. That was a big part of who she was, and we won a lot of money. We won a lot of money on that one. She legitimately couldn't run. I mean, the injuries to her leg and to her hip were very severe. So that was one of the things that came up in deposition. But what happens with social media is somebody will say, well, I can't ride my bike. And they're on the Facebook posting, their bike ride, or what they'll do. Sometimes what will happen is they'll use an app like Strava or some type of app that follows them and then post to Facebook or post.
They like automatically post, don't they?
If you allow it, if you give permission, if you give your permission in your settings. So you've given sworn testimony that you can't ride a bike, but here you are riding a bike. And then it becomes, well, I can't ride as fast. Well, that's not what your testimony was. So those are the ones that are bad with, and again, going back to the lady who who really hurt herself, it diminishes those type of clients who suffer, life-changing events. One of my favorite ones, though, was this is kind of social media because it was found on social media, but a guy he had a very large claim for loss of earnings. He got in this accident. There was a large insurance policy. I mean, hundreds of thousands. He said he hasn't been able to work for the last year. He wanted, and we went through a deposition, and he says he hasn't worked. And, we claimed future earnings as well. And there he is online, advertising his landscaping company. So he's, and he was, and of course that raises all kinds of ethical issues for us. We have to follow the rule. We can't perpetuate fraud. Right. But again, it was there for the whole world to see. I mean, you're posting this on, I don't remember the website. I don't think it was Facebook. It was some type of, Craigslist or something like that.
Yeah, like a Thumbtack or something like that.
Yeah, and there's a picture of him, and and the other thing is too, especially on your big money cases, I don't care how at fault the other party is. I don't care if they were driving drunk, running red lights, and they killed you or killed your spouse or your kid or somebody there, or whatever, broke your leg, broke your arms, broke your neck. How severe? The insurance company is going to look into you. And back in the day, they'd have private investigators follow you around. They still do that. But a lot of times you make it easier on the private investigator when you're posting that stuff on social media. but they absolutely, if you have a big enough case, know that they are probably going to look you out and follow you and make sure you have the injuries you claim you have.
I know that I'm not on a bunch of social media, but I'm on Instagram, and mine's private. Where you have to ask to be my friend or whatever they call it on there. Do insurance companies have some crafty ways of getting past that?
I don't want to say insurance companies for sure, because I've never seen that, but I have seen investigators. Whether those investigators work for the insurance company or not, I don't know. But I have seen private investigators. And absolutely, because it's all based on your permissions. And how many people really know what permissions you're giving to Instagram or Meta or X or TikTok or
I've never read the fine print.
No, and you don't realize until sometimes you do, like the example earlier. It's like, oh, I went on a bike ride and it posted on my Facebook. Oh, I better go check that out. But other than that, most people don't know what they're actually giving permission to, and really don't know even if they think it's set on private. Well, I think Facebook has a setting where it's friends only, but then friends of friends.
Right.
And then of course, you're accepting friends from, a lot of people, especially now, the social media trend is, more friends, more followers, because that, especially, so people are just, you accept friends from everybody. Yeah. And you're trying to build up your network. So you don't even know half the people, who are following you as it is. But yeah, absolutely. I have absolutely seen investigators and investigator reports where they, fake profiles or whatever, and are able to get into, and the mark is the one who lets them in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or the target. Yeah.
When it comes to workers' comp, I feel like that's probably an area that this could happen more than anything. I was actually deposed years ago. So I managed a hockey rink, and there was a guy there who was allegedly playing, and he was in the middle of a workers' comp claim. So I had to go through that whole thing. How does social media affect those cases? Is it pretty substantial in those particular ones?
Yeah, absolutely. I've seen social media posts hurt work comp cases just as much as personal injury cases. And again, that's the big thing with work comp, is you're telling your employer, I can't work, I can't lift more, and work comp is very specific. I can't lift more than 15 pounds. I can't move, whatever. And then here you are riding motorcycles and you're posting it, so that is I've probably seen that more in work comp, and again, I've probably seen work comp investigators follow injured workers more than PI cases, probably, for sure. Yeah. Because that's what they do, because, it's tough, because a lot of these job descriptions, you can't lift 15 pounds. That's not a lot of weight. When you're telling your employer you can't, again, you're out doing something you probably shouldn't be doing if you can't lift 15 pounds. But absolutely, definitely. Those are, work comp cases, those happen quite a lot. But so you just have to be smart. The thing is use social media for what it's for. If you're at a concert, if you want everybody to know you're at a concert, post it. But doing your activities, again, you have to know what you're saying, know what you're claiming, and live your life accordingly. It shouldn't. And the other thing is too, sometimes people be, well, I can't lift 15 pounds, I can't do this, but when I do this, it doesn't hurt. And I get that. That's true. That does happen a lot. But remember, you're just making it harder on yourself.
Right.
And you're giving information to the other side that isn't really worth it. Correct. Yeah. So you may not be able to, lift 15 pounds. I keep saying that because that's a big thing in work comp. But you may not be able to lift 15 pounds, but you probably shouldn't be posting pictures of yourself dirt bike riding while this lawsuit, or while this administrative action is pending. Same thing with, if you're not able to work, if you're claiming loss of earnings on a personal injury claim, you shouldn't be out, posting work that you're, because I mean, that is a thing too. I mean, you may not have the same job. Maybe you're not doing the same. Maybe you're working less, but make sure that those are consistent, in your thoughts and what you're doing.
What you're putting out there. Yeah. I like that you said, if you really need people to know you're at this concert. That was good. I was just watching the Coachella live feed over the weekend. They like to do a live stream, and just this sea of phones every time somebody starts.
Yeah, it's insane. I go to concerts, I go to sport, and it's amazing because I kind of want to, like, you're not seeing it. We're not seeing those things anymore. We're filming it.
Yeah, we're not experiencing it. We just want to make sure people know how good our seats were.
Yeah, and it's like, man, it's these seats are too good to film.
Yeah,
so
you're right. They're right there. You can
you're right
watch
there.
it. It's right
Why,
there.
why do you want to watch it through a phone?
And I'm the same way, man.
Yeah. And another thing with social media is, this is a big one too. Don't engage with the other party in insults or. Oh yeah, I've seen
that, but really, they find them on social media.
No, what'll happen is they'll go on Facebook and use swear words and say, this effing attorney on the other side asked me this. This guy. Dude, that looks.
I know some people who would totally do that.
Yes, and that looks really, really bad. It's nobody's business. Come into my office to vent to me, vent to your friends and family. But yeah, when you put that stuff out there, and sometimes even I've even seen, and it's not illegal. It's not morally wrong, but it's just doesn't look good when it's like you say something like, woohoo, doctor says I'm off work. Well, okay, that could be misinterpreted.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say that you're not really hurt and the doctor fell for, or are you saying that you're in so much pain you can't go to work and he believes? Yeah. So I mean,
but why are you so excited if you're in so much pain?
Right.
Yeah.
Watch those kind of things. Again, I think I've said this on previous podcasts. Everything you say out of court is able to be brought into court.
Mm-hmm.
So why give the other side a lifeline? That's why I'm saying I would have answered this question differently a few years ago, where I just said stay off completely. And that's just really unrealistic for a lot of people, especially a lot of younger people.
Absolutely.
But I think it is reasonable to say, if it's anything about your case, just don't mention it at all. Yeah. Somebody should be able to look through your timeline and not even know you have a lawsuit pending.
Yeah, or not even know you've been in an accident, or well, maybe, or at least, it's tricky because you don't want to show yourself playing volleyball or anything like that either. Being out and
right. Well, and again, it goes down to what you say. I mean, if your claim is that you got injured, I mean, maybe you broke your arm and then your arm healed, and now your arm is healed, and that's fine as long as you're consistent in what you're saying. The problem is it's inconsistency, and we've talked about before inconsistent statements, and those are always brought in, and impeachment, those are always brought into court. So it's okay as long as you're consistent. You just got to be consistent.
Do you coach clients? Do you sit down and go, okay, I need to talk about how active are you on social media? We got to talk about this. Do you have those conversations?
Yeah, just the conversation we're having right now. I tell people, don't discuss it on social media. Don't discuss it with, and I tell people, especially on criminal cases, don't discuss your case with anybody but me. Don't. And if we do, and same with personal injury cases, if I send my investigator out, my office will call you first and say, hey, we're sending someone out. This person's on our side. It's okay to talk to this person. But yeah, absolutely. I do tell people about social media, and my preference is to stay off it completely while the lawsuit's pending. But absolutely, don't post anything for the reason that we're talking about now. Don't post anything because it could be taken out of context of what you're saying or doing, and so just don't mention it.
Do you? Do they usually?
Then once it's all over, you can post as much as you want.
Yeah, absolutely. Who cares?
Yeah, once it's over.
Do they follow your advice typically?
Yeah. I'd say, like I said, recently, for sure. I can't. That's what I'm saying. Some of these stories were kind of older, and they happened, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago.
Still a little more new, social media back then.
Yeah, social media is so much more ingrained in our lives now, and it's and we do have this younger generation that has lived their entire life with social media. Mm-hmm. That I think it's definitely gone down a lot. But it still happens where, again, and usually it's taking things out of context. Where the person is legitimately injured, but they're posting something that's not, just doesn't look good, but it's easily explained. But I would say definitely, because it is such a part of our lives now, that I haven't really seen anything major, giving me a headache or keeps me up at night in a while because of that. I've had a couple of cases too, recently, especially with deaths. Somebody dies. I have one, her husband was killed. Another one where her mother was killed in a car accident, and there is a lot of social media on that. Hey, rest in peace. And a lot of times we can use that. Hey, look how loved this person was. Look, this person had a lot of people in goodwill with a lot of people. So that's actually something I'm seeing more of. So that's how social media can work in our favor. I mean, it's basically like a newspaper. It's a newspaper of, the obituaries of 20 years ago.
It's true. That's a good way to put it. Yeah. So a rare situation where social media can actually strengthen a personal injury case.
It can. It can.
Yeah.
But again, I just think that because it is such a part of our lives, it's and who knows, you and I may have a conversation 5 years from now and it's going to be totally different again. We don't know.
I wouldn't doubt. I have a 4-year-old. I'm like, I don't even know what things are going to look like by the time he's a teenager. You know what I mean? Like, God only knows what kind of stuff's going to be out there.
Yeah. And really, I mean, I did, 5-6 years ago, I would tell people just stay off, and that's not realistic anymore. It's just, it's not.
Especially like you said, for younger people.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning into the Moody Lawyer with attorney Josh Moody. To connect with Josh, visit moodylawyer.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Josh, always great chatting with you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks. See you next time.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.